Neil Gorsuch hearings, senators reference other court cases. One case in particular shows his willingness to uphold the law at all costs, or his favoring of corporations over individuals. As Democrats and Republicans on the Senate Judiciary Committee draw their battle lines over Supreme Court nominee Neil Gorsuch, Democrats have mentioned several court cases in their opening statements in his confirmation hearings Monday as touchstones for their lines of attack, not just of Gorsuch but of the judicial and political systems in general. Senator Amy Klobuchar, a Minnesota Democrat and daughter of a newspaper editor, mentioned Times v. Sullivan, a landmark Supreme Court newspaper libel case, in reference to the nominee's views on press freedom. Senator Al Franken, her fellow Minnesota Democrat, mentioned Citizens United v. FEC, a 2010 Supreme Court ruling that equated corporate spending on political campaigns with an individual's right to free speech. But perhaps the most significant case that's come up so far, and one that's most likely to make more headlines as the hearings grind on, is the so-called frozen trucker case, on which Gorsuch ruled as a member of the 10th Circuit Court of Appeals. The facts of the case are straightforward. Alphonse Madden, a driver for Trans Am, a Kansas-based trucking company, was hauling a load through Illinois one bitterly cold night in January 2009. Having missed a refueling stop, Madden's truck was almost out of gas, but when he pulled over to find the nearest gas station, the brakes on his trailer locked up and froze in the sub-zero temperatures. Madden radioed his dispatcher, who told him to sit tight and wait for help. Hours later, help hadn't arrived and Madden noticed he was showing signs of hypothermia, including slurred speech and numbed extremities. Though the company told him he'd be fired if he bailed out of the situation, Madden unhooked the trailer, left it behind and went for help. The company dismissed him, and Madden sued. When the case reached Gorsuch's three-member appeals court, Madden won but Gorsuch dissented. While two of his colleagues said Madden justifiably feared for his life that night, Gorsuch said the driver lost his legal protection when he went against his employer's orders. The trucker in this case wasn't fired for refusing to operate his vehicle, which would have led him to rule in his favor, Gorsuch wrote in his dissenting opinion. Perhaps the company should not have fired him, Gorsuch said, but in his view Madden didn't deserve to win in court. Indeed, his employer gave him the very option the statute says it must, once he voiced safety concerns. Trans Am expressly, and by everyone's admission, permitted him to sit and remain where he was and wait for help, Gorsuch wrote. The trucker was fired only after he declined the statutorily protected option, refused to operate, and chose instead to operate his vehicle in a manner he thought wise but his employer did not. Republicans insist that Gorsuch's dissent proves he's willing to follow the law regardless of sentiment or the unpopularity of his decision. But Democrats say it's evidence that the judge favors corporations over ordinary workers and people. Please subscribe my channel.